For this lesson, we will talk about workplace hygiene procedure. So, nung midterms, we talked about food safety hazard. So, ano ba yung mga kalaban natin pagdating sa pagkain? Ngayon naman, for this lesson, we will dive into how we can protect the food environment. Meaning, how do we keep the workplace clean? How do we keep it safe and hygienic? So, itong lesson na to, it will highlight the importance ng sanitation. Hindi lang basta paglilinis, pero paano ba siya ginagawa ng tama to prevent foodborne illnesses? So, we will talk about proper cleaning and sanitizing. Ano ba yung mga personal hygiene and grooming na dapat sinusunod at ginagawa ng mga food handlers? And bakit ba nag-e-exist tong mga hygiene risk? How we can stop them before na mag-spread sila? Kasi 'di ba, kahit gaano tayo kagaling magluto, if your workplace is not clean, wala rin. So, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to identify and prevent hygiene risk like spotting unsanitary practices o kung may pest problems man, dapat ma-spot natin yan sila before they affect the food. Next, follow workplace hygiene procedures. Hindi lang basta kakabisaduhin natin, pero paano ba natin sila i-apply sa workplace? Next, demonstrate good personal hygiene and grooming. So, hindi lang kasi pagkain yung kailangan malinis. Siyempre, dapat pati tayo rin ng mga food handlers. And last but not the least, understand the Code of Sanitation of the Philippines and food establishments. So, this is the legal backbone ng lahat ng hygiene rules na dapat sinusunod ng mga food establishments dito sa Pilipinas. So, let's start with the number one enemy natin sa kitchen. Ito yung poor personal hygiene. Poor personal hygiene is one of the top causes of foodborne illness and affects how clean an establishment appears to customers. So, yung poor hygiene, hindi lang yan basta mabaho yung hininga, may amoy yung kilikili. It's actually one of the leading causes of foodborne illnesses according sa CDC and FDA. So, kahit mukhang malinis yung establishment mo, if yung mga staff mo hindi naman sumusunod dun sa mga tamang hygiene practices, mapapansin niya ng customers. And worse, pwedeng magkasakit yung customers na makakakain ng food na pinrepare nila. Pathogens daw spread by food handlers include hepatitis A, salmonellosis, E. coli infection, shigellosis, norovirus. So, these are serious. Some of these can cause severe diarrhea. Pwede ring magsuka, liver damage, or worse, pwedeng magkaroon ng kidney failure. So, paano ba yun nangyayari? Foodborne illnesses spread when uninfected persons' unwashed feces contaminate food or are passed through direct contact. So, ganito yan. If a food handler doesn't wash their hands after gumamit ng CR, after jumebs, yes, feces talaga ang usapan dito. Tapos, after nila, they prepare your salad. So, ayan na. One touch and the virus or bacteria transfers doon sa pagkain. Kaya dapat lagi tayong naguhugas ng kamay. Another example, kung may sugat naman sa kamay and hindi naka-gloves tapos humawak dun sa mga ready-to-eat na food, that is already direct contamination. Kaya dapat, sa good hygiene, hindi lang tayo basta magmukhang malinis, hindi yung mukha ka lang neat. Because yung proper hygiene, tumutulong yan para maprotektahan natin yung mga customers natin. Kaya kung may sakit ka, may sugat ka, or hindi ka naghugas ng kamay, please step away from the food prep area. Now let's move on to the second big hygiene risk, poor work practices. Poor hygiene and cleaning practices increase infection and contamination risk. So, hindi lang sa katawan nagsisimula yung problema. Even kung paano ka magtrabaho sa kitchen, yung mismong habits natin sa kitchen, it can either protect the food or pwedeng yun yung maging reason kung bakit mako-contaminate yung food. Kahit kasi malinis ka, if yung mga work habits mo are very careless, you are still a risk. So, there are three main ways infections can spread sa workplace. Sabi dito, first, airborne. Coughing or sneezing spreads germs in the air. So, ito yung tipong pag nag-sneeze or umubo ka habang nagpe-prepare ng food, kahit walang contact, Siyempre, the germs travel in the air. Kaya importante na magsusuot tayo ng mask. Next, contact. Direct contact with infected person's blood or bloody fluids. So, this happens when you come into direct contact with an infected person's blood. So, let's say, nagsaslice ka ng meat or ng vegetables and then na-injure ka and then yung blood mo, hindi mo nalinis ng maayos, napunta dun sa hinihiwa mo. So, contamination agad yan if you keep on working. Last, indirect contact. Touching infected surfaces or items. So, ito yung pag humawak ka sa mga maduming chopping board or yung mga sink handle and then after nun, hahawak ka dun sa pagkain or sa mga tools without cleaning your hands. So, parang ito yung parang cross-contamination. A clear hygiene policy ensures everyone follows the same safety standards. Kaya mahalaga talaga yung hygiene policy because pag meron kang clear hygiene policy, ibig sabihin yan, everyone follows the same standard. So, it will tell workers exactly what is expected from them. From proper cleaning, hanggang sa kung ano ba yung dapat nilang gawin kapag may sakit sila. So, yung personal hygiene natin, that is step 1. And then, yung work hygiene natin, yung mga actions and habits natin sa trabaho, that's what keeps the entire kitchen safe. Now, let's talk about the third hygiene risk, inappropriate cleaning practices. Bad cleaning habits can cause more harm than good. So, akala ng iba, basta nakapaglinis ka, okay na. But the truth is, bad cleaning is actually worse than no cleaning at all. Why? Because it gives you false confidence na malinis na yung lugar when in reality, nagalat pa rin pala yung germs. Also, di ba, kapag hindi tayo marunong mag-identify ng malinis na basahan sa madumi, tapos hindi natin alam madumi pala yun, ginamit nating pampunas ng mga lahat ng surfaces, edi automatic magiging contaminate na kung ano yung mga pinunasan natin gamit yung maduming basahan. So sabi dito, here are some of the red flags na nagpapakitang weak ang cleaning system ng isang establishment. Number 1, if the floors are not fully dried. So kapag basa pa yung sahig, after mong linisin yan, merong hazard na baka may madulas pag may nakaapak dun sa mga basang part ng floor. And also, it will also attract bacteria and molds kapag hindi siya fully dried. Next, unattended spills. So, whether it's a sauce, soup, or oil, yung mga spills na yan, it should be cleaned immediately. Because otherwise, someone might step on it and madulas. O kaya naman, eventually, pag naging contaminated na yung mga tapon, talsik na yan, pwedeng kumalat yung contamination all over the kitchen. Next, product residue build-up. So, kapag may makapal na layer ng sugar, ng flour, or ng grease sa mga surfaces, hindi lang yan basta unsanitary because it will also attract yung mga pests like ants, mga ipis, and even yung mga daga. And then last, cleaning tools left in walkways. So, this is dangerous. Kasi hindi lang siya hazard na baka may matisod, pero it will also become a source of cross-contamination. Kasi imagine mo na lang, di ba, yung mop na ginamit mo sa paglilinis ng toilet, tapos ilalagay mo malapit sa food prep area. So, medyo kadiri yun, di ba? So, cleaning, hindi lang yan basta about the appearance. It's also about the prevention. So, you always have to follow yung mga proper cleaning steps and gumamit tayo ng mga right tools. Let's talk about the fourth hygiene risk, vermin or pests. Common pests like flies, cockroaches, and rodents spread diseases such as typhoid, cholera, and dysentery. Why pests thrive? They need only food, water, and shelter. So, ito yung pinaka-nakakadiri sa lahat, yung mga pests. So, kasama dyan yung mga usual na suspects like yung mga bangaw, mga ipis, daga. So, they are silent spreaders ng mga serious diseases like typhoid, cholera, and dysentery. So, yung dysentery, that is severe diarrhea like pag may blood na yung poop mo. So, bakit ba gustong-gusto ng mga peste na to yung mga food establishments? Very simple, because of food, water, and shelter. So, kung may tira-tirang pagkain, may tulo sa faucet, tapos madilim na sulok, o parang playground sa mga peste yan. Now, let's go over some warning signs na meron kang infestation sa establishment. Flies, larvae near drains or trash. So, look for larvae or maggots, especially yung mga malapit sa drains, sa mga trash bins, or composting areas. Cockroaches. So, bad odors, coffee ground droppings, often behind or under equipment. Yung mga cockroach na to, mahirap tong mahanap Parang master yan sila ng taguan. Madalas nga, you'll often smell them first before mo sila makita. Ako personally ganun. Parang naaamoy ko kapag may ipis na. So, look for foul odor if there are coffee ground-like na mga droppings. And then, yung mga common hiding spots nila sa ilalim ng fridge, stoves, or sometimes inside the cabinets. And then, rodents, tiny droppings, dark rub marks, chewed food packaging. So, yung mga rodents, yung mga daga-daga, naglilive yan sila ng tiny droppings like black grains of rice. And then, yung mga dark rub marks sa mga walls, dyan kasi sila nagsisqueeze through So, yun yung mga titignan nyo. And then, syempre, sa mga packaging, like yung mga pagkain natin, minsan, pag may kagat ng daga, madaling ma-identify. So, sabi dito, note, pest control is a continuous, customized process, not a one-time fix. Yung pest control, hindi yan basta one-time spray and dasal na lang. So, itong pest control, it's actually a continuous battle. You need regular inspections. You need to have proper food storage. You need to have good waste management. And sometimes pa nga, kakailanganin mo ng professional help pagdating sa pest control. Garbages and contaminated wastes. Improper disposal of waste from the kitchen, dining, and storage areas can lead to contamination. It can attract pests like vermin, flies, and insects. There is a risk of contaminating food and water when pests come in contact with them. So kapag hindi tama yung pag-dispose ng mga waste, whether it's from the kitchen, it's from the dining area, or storage, you are inviting trouble. Because literal na pest and diseases yung sumusunod sa mga basura na hindi natin naaayos ng mabuti. So yung mga pests, they love garbage because garbage provides food and moisture. Kaya kung meron kang mga exposed na trash, expect mo din na makakakita ka dyan ng mga bangaw, ng mga ipis and daga. It also leads to cross-contamination, sabi dito. Imaginein mo na lang, kunwari, yung isang daga, kumain ng bulok na tira-tira, tapos maya-maya hindi mo makikita, tumalon na pala dun sa table na pinagtatrabahuhan mo. That is already a contamination that is waiting to happen. So, reminder lang, yung garbage, dapat lagi yang may takip, may cover. And then, dapat separated din yan from food areas. Dapat na-dispose sila regularly, and syempre, kapag nagha-handle tayo ng garbage, dapat gumagamit tayo ng proper protective equipment. Implement and control hygiene procedures. All food businesses must follow hygiene practices from 3 main sources. First, laws and regulations. Second, company policies and internal hygiene programs. So, here's the thing. Lahat ng food business, kahit maliit yan, like karinderya or big time like yung mga nasa hotel, all of them must follow hygiene procedures. Pero saan ba nanggagaling yung rules na yun? So, sabi dito, there are 3 main sources. Number 1 is laws and regulations. So, these are the legal requirements from the government, like yung Sanitation Code of the Philippines. So, if you break yung mga rules na yun, pwede kang ma-penalize, or worse, pwedeng mapasara yung business mo. So, yung mga rules na nandun, yung laws na yun, those are non-negotiable. Example, required magkaroon ng hand washing station sa food preparation area. Kung wala yon and may nag-inspect sa inyo, violation yan. Next, company policies. So these are the internal rules na sineset ng isang establishment. Some companies even go beyond the law para ma-sure na safe yung pagkain. So example, yung restaurant, they may require their employees to sanitize yung mga tables every 1 hour kahit hindi naman talaga siya required ng DOH. And then last, internal hygiene programs. So these are voluntary hygiene systems na kusang ginagawa ng companies para ma-improve yung food safety. Usually part yan ng quality control and staff training. So, example, kunwari, yung isang establishment, nag-create sila ng weekly cleaning checklist or kaya naman, nagko-conduct sila ng mga surprise hygiene inspections. So, itong tatlo na to, laws and regulations, company policies, and internal hygiene programs, they all work together to make sure na nahahandle ng maayos yung food, it is being handled, it is being prepared, and it is being served safely. So, if you ever work in a kitchen in the future, don't just follow the rules blindly. You have to understand kung saan ba sila galing and bakit ba sila importante. General hygiene requirement. Number 1 is personal hygiene. So, ito na yung pinaka-basic pero sobrang importante na rules of food safety, yung good personal hygiene. All food workers must practice good personal hygiene. Bath daily. Yes, araw-araw po. Hindi pwedeng amoy puyat or amoy kama ka dyan sa kitchen. Good hygiene starts at home. Next, wash hands and arms with lukewarm water. 100 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 seconds. So, do not rush, especially if gumamit ka ng toilet or you just handled raw meat. Next, keep fingernails short, clean, and unpolished. So, bawal ang fake nails, bawal ang nail polish because yung mga microbes, they love to hide under long nails. Next, shampoo and tie hair properly. So, always tie your hair up neatly. Ayaw natin ng mga flying strands na possible na pwedeng mapunta sa food. Next, maintain oral hygiene. So, wag naman tayong bad breath, ha? This is also about respecting your co-workers and customers. Next, keep facial hair neat or clean-shaven. Kung may bigote or beard, pwede mo namang itrim yan. And kung required na may cover yan, wear a beard cover. Next, wear clean clothes and PPE daily. So, yung PPE, kasama dyan yung mga apron, hairnet, gloves. Dapat malinis yung mga yan every shift. Next, avoid smoking, chewing gum, or drinking in work areas. So, bawal ang yosi break sa tabi ng food prep area or ng storage area. Kasi yung mga ganyang habit, hindi lang siya basta unhygienic, pero sobrang unsafe yan sa pagkain. Next, wear disposable gloves for raw and ready-to-eat food. So, ito, paulit-ulit na tayo dito. You still need to wash your hands before wearing your gloves and before kayo mag-switch ng task. Now, let's move on to the second general hygiene requirement. Safe and hygienic food handling. Because even if we're clean, kung mali yung handling natin, food can still become unsafe. Maintain food safety with these practices. Inspect deliveries for temperature and appearance. So kapag may dumating na karne, gulay, or mga dairy products, lagi niyong i-check kung malamig pa ba yan. Also, tignan mo if may amoy or may weird na itsura. Wag na wag tatanggapin yung mga products na mukhang expired na. Next, ensure delivery vehicles are clean and food dedicated. So, yung truck na nagdala dapat, hindi galing sa pagbiyahe ng mga semento or ng pintura kagabi. Because po, yes, nangyayari yan sa totoong buhay. Food only dapat yung ginagamit na vehicle and dapat malinis siya. Next, avoid the temperature danger zone. O, ito na naman si danger zone. Between 5 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius. So, bacteria, yung party nila, it happens dyan sa range na yan. So, always refrigerate cold items and keep hot food hot. Next, use the FIFO method. So, laging unahin gamitin yung una din nating na-receive. So, para ma-prevent natin yung mga expired goods from hiding at the back of the shelf and para hindi natin sila accidentally na ma-serve. Next, Discard food exposed to sneezing or coughing. So, kung may suminga dyan sa tabi ng salad, sorry na lang, pero discard na natin yan. Hindi pwede yung konting ganun lang naman eh. Because it's not worth the risk. Last, use color-coded cutting boards to prevent cross-contamination. So, alam nyo na to, may sariling cutting board, yung meat, fruits, and vegetables. Huwag nating paghalu-haluin. The third general hygiene requirement is cleaning and sanitation. Yung hygiene, it doesn't stop with just clean hands and fresh uniforms. Your tools, your equipment, and the entire kitchen, dapat malinis din yan. Proper cleaning prevents foodborne illnesses. First, create a cleaning schedule. Who, what, when, and how. So, walang linis-linis or maglilinis ka lang kung kailan feel mo. Dapat meron kang clear schedule. Sino bang mga maglilinis, ano yung lilinisin, kailan, and paano. So, this will help you avoid confusion and ma-ensure that no area gets neglected. Next, sanitize equipment after use. So, hindi pwedeng hugas tuyo lang. You have to sanitize, especially for cutting boards, yung mga knives, lalo na kung galing yan sa raw food. Next, ensure utensils are safe before use. So, check mo kung may cracks, kung may mga kalawang or dirt ba yan. Kasi kahit malinis tignan, kung may damage yan, pwede pa rin mag-cause yan ng contamination. Next, use approved cleaning chemicals and follow instructions. So, wag yung kung anong sabon lang yung gagamitin mo. Use only approved chemicals and follow label instructions. Bawal yung mag-freestyle ka lang sa dosage. Dapat kung anong nasa label instructions, yun yung ifa-follow mo. Next, store chemicals away from food. So, obvious ito pero madalas nakakalimutan. Laging tandaan ha, hiwalay dapat yung mga chemicals like Zonrox dun sa mga food items natin. Next, sanitize long-used or hazardous prep surfaces. So, may mga surfaces kasi sa kitchen like yung mga chopping stations or countertops na lagi nating ginagamit. So, yung targeted sanitation, that is a must, lalo na if exposed yun sa raw meats. Last, use PPE when handling cleaning chemicals. This is also for your safety. Yung mga gloves, goggles, aprons, those should be worn when using strong cleaners because ayaw naman natin na magkaroon ng accidental chemical burns. The fourth general hygiene requirement is vermin control. Vermin control, or in simple terms, pest prevention. So, kahit gaano pa kaganda yung plating ng food mo, if customers see cockroaches or mga daga roaming around your establishment, pwedeng canceled na agad yung buong restaurant mo. So, here are the steps to prevent pest infestation. Maintain a clean, properly built facility. So, dapat walang tagu-tagong sulok, walang mga cracks, holes, or loose tiles. Kasi paborito yan ng nataguan ng mga cockroach. So, ayusin agad before it becomes a hideout ng mga pest. Next, remove food waste quickly in sealed bins. So, do not leave food scraps lying around. You have to seal the garbage bags and you have to take them out regularly. Remember kasi, kung may pagkaing nakakalat lang dyan, laging pwedeng may pest din. Next, sanitize garbage bins regularly. So, linisin pati yung basurahan mismo, especially yung lid and yung rim. Diyan kasi nagkukulob yung amoy and bacteria. Next, inspect deliveries for pests before storing. So, pag meron kang food deliveries, i-check mo muna yung mga boxes, yung mga crates, or yung mga sako kung wala mga butas yan or walang mga kakaibang smell. Kasi baka may mga, hindi mo alam, may mga pests pala yan sa loob. Next, install screening systems at entry points. So, yung mga windows and doors, they should have screens para kahit naka-open sila, walang makalusot na insects or mga daga. Next, label and store chemicals properly. So, this will help you avoid accidental contamination and will also prevent pests from hiding inside yung mga unsealed or mga wrongly stored containers. Next, use pesticides responsibly for disease prevention only. So, hindi dapat araw-araw kang nagsispray. You have to use pesticides only when necessary, and you always have to follow proper instructions. Next, hire licensed pest control personnel. Yung legit ha, hindi yung kuya na may dalang baygon lang. Because professionals, they know how to treat infestations without putting food safety at risk. Next, use fly traps away from food. So, effective to. But, dapat medyo malayo sa preparation areas kasi baka mahulog pa yung langaw dyan sa niluluto mo. Next, keep doors and windows sealed. So, self-explanatory. Keep entry points closed or screened at all times. So, itong pagkocontrol ng pest or yung pest prevention, dapat lagi tayong proactive dito. The last general hygiene requirement is waste disposal. So, paano nga ba dapat mag-dispose ng basura in a food service setup? First, practice waste segregation by type. So, you have to separate wet from dry, biodegradable from non-biodegradable. So, wag yung isang malaking timba na all-in-one na. Mas madaling linisin at mas madaling i-manage pag segregated ang waste. Next, use durable plastic bins with liners and foot pedals. So, foot pedal bins, those are best para no hand contact tayo sa basurahan. Also, liners, it will help avoid direct contact with the bin. It will make cleaning faster and safer. Next, clean and air dry bins daily. So yes, araw-araw dapat linisin ang basurahan. Kahit walang laman, the smell and the residue, they build up fast. So you have to use soap and disinfectant and then let it air dry to avoid mold. Next, place bins near prep areas for easy access. So, make it convenient. Kung minsan kasi kung masyadong malayo yung basurahan, tendency is iiwan na lang yung kalat kung saan-saan. But syempre, make sure to take those out regularly. Next, use distinct bins to avoid confusion. So, pwede ring i-label yung bins or you can use color-coded ones. So, for example, green para sa food waste, yung mga yellow for recyclables, and then red bins for hazardous materials. Last, tightly cover food waste containers to keep pests away. So, lagi pong tatakpan para po ma-prevent natin yung mga langaw, ipis, and yung mga daga from getting attracted dun sa amoy. Now, let's talk about something legal. So, Presidential Decree 856 or the Sanitation Code of the Philippines was signed way back in 1976 by President Ferdinand Marcos. Matagal na to pero hanggang ngayon ito pa rin yung basihan ng sanitation policies natin, especially sa mga food establishments. Purpose: to protect and promote public health by enforcing food safety and sanitation standards. The goal of this law is very straightforward: to protect and promote public health through food safety and sanitation. So, ibig sabihin, kahit gaano kakagaling magluto, if your establishment is dirty, if it is disorganized and unsanitary, pwede pa rin ma-shutdown yung business mo. So, itong Presidential Decree 856, it covers a lot of things. But in the context of food business, it's actually the foundation of our hygiene policies. Yung mga policies sa food prep area, yung mga employee hygiene policies to pest control and even to waste management. So when your company tells you to wear gloves, to wash your hands, or to dispose your trash properly, it's actually, hindi lang siya basta policy. It's actually the law. So let's keep going and explore some of the hygiene provisions dito sa Sanitation Code of the Philippines. And for sure, it will directly affect your future work in the hospitality industry in the future. Sanitation requirement. Number 1, sanitary permit. All food establishments must have a sanitary permit renewed annually. So you cannot legally run a food business in the Philippines without a sanitary permit. So according to the Sanitation Code of the Philippines, every food establishment must have one. And not just once, because it has to be renewed yearly. Bakit ba ito importante? Because a sanitary permit means that your place was inspected and na-approve yan ng mga health authorities, either by the Department of Health or your local health office. So kung wala kang permit, meaning hindi verified kung safe yung food na binebenta mo. So your business can be shut down anytime. And take note, permit must be displayed and available for inspection by DOH or local health officers. So it must be displayed where customers and inspectors can easily see it. Visible dapat siya. Usually, malapit dapat sa entrance or cashier. So if you work in a restaurant or you plan to open one in the future, always remember, no permit, no business. Second sanitation requirement, health certificates and food handlers. All food handlers must get a health certificate from the local health office, issued only after physical exam, medical check, and immunization. So, kahit gaano ka pa kasipag o kahit gaano ka pa kagaling dyan sa kitchen, if you don't have a valid health certificate, bawal ka humawak ng pagkain sa isang food establishment. So, itong health certificate, this is a document that is issued by your local health office. Pero hindi yan basta-basta because you will only get that after a full physical exam. Tapos meron din yung medical screening and then sometimes even immunizations. So important rules to remember, itong mga health certificates, these must be renewed every year. And then non-transferable din yan. So bawal hiramin o ipagamit sa iba. And then, dapat, nakasuot siya sa upper left side ng uniform. Visible siya para sa customers and inspectors. So, aside from having the certificate, yung mga food handlers must also act hygienic. So, ito yung mga basic expectations sa mga food handlers. Dapat, syempre, always maintain good hygiene at all times. Wash hands frequently. Avoid smoking, chewing gum, or eating while working. And most importantly, do not report to work if you're sick, especially if it's a communicable disease. So better to stay home than spread illness to dozens of customers. Third sanitation requirement, quality and protection of food. Source food from reputable suppliers approved by the health office. So you have to get your food from legit sources only. Hindi pwedeng kung kani-kanino lang or kung sinong random seller lang sa Facebook Marketplace. The food must come from a reputable supplier that is approved by the health office. Next, use sanitary covered vehicles for delivery because the way food travels from supplier to kitchen can also make or break its safety. Next, temperature guidelines. Perishables below 7 degrees Celsius, hot food at least 60 degrees Celsius. So, yung mga perishables like meat, seafood, dairy, dapat below 5 to 7 degrees Celsius yan. And then, sa hot food naman, it should be kept at 60 degrees Celsius to stop bacteria from growing. Next, food on display must be contaminant-free. So, if the food is on display, like yung mga buffet, salad bar, it must be protected from contaminants. Hindi pwedeng walang takip or nakatiwangwang lang sa hangin. And lastly, clean and sanitize food contact utensils after each use. Hindi enough na babanlawan mo lang. If it touched food, lalo na raw meat or seafood, it must be sanitized properly. Now let's talk about the physical setup of a food service area. So this is one of the most overlooked pero super important din siya sa sanitation. Number 1, the floors, walls, and ceilings must be impervious and easy to clean. So when we say impervious, ibig sabihin, dapat the water must not be able to pass through. So dapat hindi rin yan nag-absorb ng water and it must be easy to clean, madaling linisin. So bawal yung mga rough wood or porous tiles na madaling kapitan ng dumi. For ceilings, it must be washable and dust-proof. Kasi kung may alikabok sa taas, it can fall right into the food you are preparing. So that's a health risk. Next is lighting. No glare or shadows. Pag sinabing glare, ito yung sobrang bright ng ilaw na parang blinding na siya. Delikado yan pag nag-chop ka kasi baka mamaya hindi mo mapansin, sobrang liwanag or sobrang blinding, daliri mo na pala yung na-chop mo, 'di ba? And then, no shadows din daw. Important yan para kita mo lahat ng detalye habang nagluluto. No colored lights in food display. Yung colored lights kasi, it can make spoiled food look fresh. Like for example, yung red light, pwede niyang matago yung meat discoloration eh. So medyo daya yun. Kaya clear lighting lang dapat. And of course, good ventilation controls heat and moisture. So yung heat and moisture, di ba, it can attract mold, bacteria, and even pests. So the kitchen itself should help and it should not harm your food safety efforts. So dapat laging cleanable ang surfaces, clear ang lighting, and proper yung airflow sa kitchen because every corner of the food space counts. For the fifth sanitation requirement, sanitary facilities. So sanitation, it's not just about the food. It's also about the facilities na available sa customers and employees. So una, sabi dito, there must be a hand washing area with clean water available for customers. This is very important, lalo na kung self-service type yung restaurant or buffet style. We want to make sure na may access yung mga customers natin sa hygiene before handling utensils or food. Now, for the staff naman, dapat merong separate clean toilets for males and females. Hindi pwedeng shared lang kasi hygiene and comfort din naman yung pinag-uusapan natin dito. And then, let's talk about the actual design of these toilets. Sabi dito, self-closing doors that open outward para walang hawakan na madumihan and para mas safe sa emergency situations. Proper lighting and ventilation para kitang-kita yung surroundings, walang tago-tagong kalat. And of course, good ventilation because ayaw din natin ng amoy o kaya naman ng bacteria build up. So, your facilities actually speak volumes about your establishment. Kung malinis yung CR mo, of course, customers will also feel safe about the food that they eat. Kaya dapat laging priority yung hygiene facilities, hindi lang for the looks, but also for health and safety. Now, let's talk about water. So, it might seem basic, pero sa food service industry, yung water, that is one of the most critical resources for safety and cleanliness. So, ang first rule, sabi dito, the water must be clean, safe, and adequate. Walang kulang, walang contamination, hindi pwedeng sobrang tipid na tipid sa tubig, especially sa food preparation area. And then, it also needs to meet the Philippine national standards for drinking water. This means dapat pasado siya sa quality checks for bacteria, for chemicals, and other harmful substances. Hindi lang basta malinaw ang tubig ha, kailangan certified safe yan. And then, syempre both hot and cold water must be available in food preparation areas. Hot water is especially important when you're sanitizing tools or surfaces. Now, for bottled water, kung ginagamit nyo ito for serving customers, dapat properly handled yan to avoid contamination. Ibig sabihin, huwag pong i-reuse ang bottles. Iwasan din mahawakan yung mouthpiece ng bottle. And then, you have to store them in clean areas away from chemicals and direct sunlight. So, let's say nagtitipid yung isang karinderya and they are using water from a deep well na walang filtration. So, kahit masarap pa yung tinda nila, if the water that is used is unsafe, pwede pa rin yung pagmula ng foodborne illness. So, that is bad for business. And syempre, bad for health. So, you have to make sure that your water source, yung temperature, and yung handling practices mo are all aligned with the law and syempre with good hygiene standards. Next sanitation requirement is wastewater management. So yes, yung maduming tubig from washing dishes, from cleaning, and pati na rin mula sa CR at drainage ng kitchen. So sabi dito, ang first rule, all sewage must go to a public sewage system. Hindi pwedeng basta-basta padaluyin mo lang sa kanal or sa likod ng building. That's very unsanitary and illegal. Next, every kitchen should have a grease trap and it should be located outside the kitchen area. Bakit? Kasi grease or mantika, kapag pinabayaan mo lang yan na dumaloy sa pipe, 'di ba? It can clog the system and eventually it will cause flooding or contamination. Now let's talk about waste handling. So sabi dito, dapat daw ang waste, it must be sorted. Yung recyclables, trash, at food waste should all be separated. Ano pa? It must be stored in washable, tight-fitting containers para walang amoy, walang leaks, and walang pests. And it must be disposed of regularly. Of course, wag ipunin ng matagal unless goal mong magparami ng mga ipis dyan at daga. And then also, important reminder to never burn garbage openly. It's very harmful to health and the environment. Wastewater areas must also be secured. So, dapat walang access yung animals or insects. Kasi kung may daga or langaw dyan, automatic hygiene risk na yan. And then sabi dito, bins must be cleaned, sanitized, and air-dried regularly. And it must be lined with plastic para mas madaling linisin and to avoid direct contact with waste. So, kunwari, example, if yung food stall mo, kunwari, hindi ka nagsasala ng oil, walang grease trap, and tinatapon mo lang yung basura mo sa open pit. Not only mangangamoy yan, but it will also attract yung mga flies, daga, and it can spread disease. So, kapag na-inspect ka, pinuntahan ka ng mga health officers, the business can be shut down agad-agad by the local health office. So, always remember itong proper wastewater management. This is not just about getting rid of trash. It's also part of protecting your customers and your reputation. Let's move on to one of the pinaka-nakakainis and nakakahiya sa food business, yung mga pests. The 8th sanitation requirement is pest prevention and management. So, kung may ipis sa gilid o langaw dyan sa ibabaw ng food, wala na, bagsak na agad sa inspection and customer trust. So, under Sanitation Code of the Philippines, all food establishment must prevent pests from entering the premises. So, that means physical barriers are a must. Structure should be designed to block pests. So, for example, windows and vents, they must have non-corrosive screens, yung hindi kinakalawang. Yung doors, it must be tight-fitting and self-closing. So, wag hayaan na nakabukas yung pinto or may gap sa ilalim because dyan pumapasok yung daga, yung mga ipis and lamok. And then next, meron tayong tinatawag na regular vermin control program. So, this means hindi lang once every 2 years yung pest control mo. Dapat scheduled yan and consistent. Pwedeng monthly, pwedeng bi-monthly, quarterly, or depende sa risk level. And of course, cleanliness and good housekeeping, they go hand in hand when it comes to pest control. Hindi sapat na may pest control spray ka lang. Dapat hindi mo rin sila bibigyan ng dahilan para bumalik. So, example, sa isang fast food chain, laging merong trap sa mga sulok ng kitchen. Even sa ceilings, may electric fly killers. So, hindi dahil may problema sila, kundi prevention talaga yung ginagawa nila. Because once kasi na makita ng customer yung mga langaw sa counter, possible na hindi na yan bumalik. Ang worst pa niyan, baka mamaya i-post pa sa Facebook tapos mag-trending pa. So, always remember, pest prevention is your silent defense. Because customers, they won't see the pest when it's working. But they will definitely notice yung pest prevention and management mo when it fails. The last sanitation requirement is sanitary equipment standards. So this is how we clean and sanitize our tools and utensils. First up, food establishments must have a 3-compartment sink for manual dishwashing. So hindi pwedeng isang balde lang or isang hugasan lang. Kailangan talaga 3 because each of the sink has its purpose. Yung unang basin, that is for washing with soap and water. And then, yung pangalawang basin, yan yung gagamitin mo pag binabanlawan mo na for rinsing off the soap. And then, yung last and yung third basin, that will be used for sanitizing using hot water or a food-safe chemical. So, kailangan 3. This ensures na hindi lang malinis sa paningin yung mga gamit, kundi safe din sa pagkain. Next requirement, all sinks must be smooth, non-corrosive, and easy to clean. Stainless steel is usually the standard here kasi yung mga rust or scratches, they can also harbor bacteria. Hindi siya food safe. Kaya stainless steel yung dapat na ginagamit dito. Now, ito yung madalas na na-overlook, Never reuse yung mga crack or damaged na utensils. Kahit pa feeling mo sayang yan or pwede pa yan, it's still a big no-no because yung mga cracks and chips it can hold bacteria na hindi na maaabot ng normal cleaning, and it can break further during use, which becomes a physical hazard. So tandaan ha, always inspect your tools and keep your washing areas up to standard.